Alright, welcome back everyone. So today in this set of video we're going to talk about reverse auctions and how they are different than auctions. So let's dive right into it. So what is reverse auctions and how are they different from auctions? So first of all, briefly let's talk about auctions. So what is an auction? And you must be familiar with auctions. You must have seen it a lot in everyday life. A great example is eBay. So if somebody is trying to sell their phone, for example, and let's say this is the iPhone 8, for example, and the way the auction works in a real life setting is there is a seller who is looking to sell an item. Let's say as I told you before, iPhone 8, and this is brought to the marketplace where you interact with a lot of buyers. So there might be, let's say, buyer 1, buyer 2, and buyer 3. Okay, so in this case, let's say for instance, buyer 1 submits a bid of $100, buyer 2 submits a bid of $150, and buyer 3 submits a bid of $200. Okay, so in this toy problem, in an auction, since we are looking to maximize the utility of the seller, and in this case the utility is the money that the seller is trying to make from the sale of the product. So in this case, we know who the winner of the auction will be. So we know that the winner of the auction will be buyer 3, because his or her bid is the maximum. For example, here it's $200. So in any auction, there are two things that we are interested in finding out. The first thing is what is or who is the winner of the auction. Okay, so this is important to understand, like figure out who is the winner of the auction. And the second thing that we are interested in finding out is what is the value of the auction. So value of the auction is the value of the product when it was sold. So in this case, the value of the auction is $200, and the winner of the auction is buyer 3. So this was a very simple example in which we covered what is the mechanism of our auction. Okay, so in an auction, there is one seller. There are multiple buyers. Each of the buyers submit their bid to the product that they are interested in buying, and at the end of the day, when all the bids are submitted, then our objective is to find out, okay, well, who is the winner of the auction, and that is usually the highest bid, and the value of the auction is the value of that bid. Okay, the reason why these concepts are important is because you will soon find out that reverse auctions are a type of auctions. Okay, so in reverse auctions, what is happening is this. So in a reverse auction, usually we are trying to sell, let's say, a contract for a bridge. So for example, let's say that the government is trying to sell the contract of for a bridge. Okay, so in this instance, the seller is the government. Okay, and the buyer is are these firms. So let's say firm 1, firm 2, and firm 3. These are 3 interested firms that are looking to win this contract for a bridge. For example, let's say that firm 1 submits a bid of $100 million, firm 2 submits a bid of $150 million, and firm 3 submits a bid of $125 million. So Again, this is very similar to auctions so far. Again, there is one seller, there are multiple buyers, but the objective is it's slightly different. Okay, if you think about it, the objective is still to maximize the utility. So if you look back at our definition, we are still trying to maximize the utility of the seller, but in this case, the utility of the seller, in this instance, for example, the government, is to minimize the cost. Okay, so the objective is to minimize the cost of the cost to the seller. Okay, so is this minimize the cost to the seller? Is this difference clear to everyone? Because remember, in auctions, the objective was to maximize the profit of the seller. Here, the objective is to minimize the cost of the seller. Okay, so again, auctions, the objective was to maximize profit of the seller, and in this case, the reverse auctions, the objective is to minimize the cost of the seller. Okay, so in this case, government is looking to sell some services to firms that might be interested in providing them. So firm 1, firm 2, firm 3, and in this case, the objective is to minimize the cost. So in this case, the winning bid, again, let's come back to the mechanism of the auction. We are interested in finding out two different things. We are interested in finding out who is the winner of the auction and what is the value of the auction. So in this case, we know that winner is firm 1 because they submitted the lowest bid, and the value of that bid is the value of the auction, which is the value $100 million. Okay, so this is the difference between reverse auctions and auctions, and we'll talk about a concrete example on reverse auctions in the next video. So I will see you then.